Welcome to another Metrix Core weekly update video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the exchange listings we've done this week, the updates to the core metrics daemon that we're going to be making in the next couple weeks, as well as talk a little bit about the regulatory sector in our market and kind of what we're looking to expect out of exchanges in the next 4 to 6 months. I'll start that off by talking about the exchanges that we've listed on this week. The first exchange would be Bastion Exchange. That's a smaller, newer exchange that has actually a pretty decent community following with their Twitter and a bunch of very active users who believe quite heavily in it. We did have a free trading day where the fees were free, but that was on Friday. If you weren't able to participate, we are probably going to be doing another one in the next couple weeks. Just keep posted on our Twitter, and you'll see all of our updates for that. The
I guess they've got a really responsive team and a really nice team, and guys we can really deal with and talk to. So it's good to have an exchange that listens and cares.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when it comes down to like a lot of the bigger exchanges, they're in a position where they're not going to listen to a singular coin or a singular project when it comes down to changes or suggestions. But when you get onto the smaller, more homely exchanges, it's a lot easier to work with them and a lot easier to make connections with their team in general. The other exchange we listed on this week was Crex24, which is a more popular exchange in Bastion, one that our community has been asking for a little while. We were able to work out with them a decent listing price, and they were able to quickly accommodate metrics into their trading scheme. It was, in under 24 hours, they had us implemented and announced, which was a real testament to the hard work of their team and how active and diligent they are with listing coins. And so if you guys give them love by going over there and trading on their exchange, they would really like it. The only thing with Crex is that Americans are not allowed on their exchange yet. Hopefully that will be changing with the regulation updates that are happening in the next 4 to 6 months as this business seems to grow. We seem to be getting more and more government regulatory structures involved in our in this sector, in crypto in general. And you're seeing that exchanges are starting to subscribe to KYC and more structured legal practices to make sure that they keep not only their customers safe, but themselves safe from the coming regulatory changes. And we're going to see a lot of changes in the next 4 to 6 months with the current exchanges that exist. Whether they're going to still be around, whether they're going to be able to make the changes that are necessary for U.S. compliance and everything else. Chris is actually going to talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, I guess that leads us into our discussion about exchanges and what our plans are, because we get asked all the time. Obviously, it's what people want us to be listed on exchanges. But I guess the current climate, the way it is, we just need to tread very carefully at the moment, list on what we can and what comes up. But I think the landscape's going to change greatly in the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months. So it's very important at the moment to tread carefully, because who knows who's going to be the big exchanges. And I know on Crex24, they're listing a lot of the smaller coins, and we hope they'll really push forward. So we see a future with them. But I think we need to be careful at this point to put ourselves on the right exchanges when they come up and they're at the right price. But I think it's at the time where we don't want to just list on anything at all until we see how it all pans out, especially with DEX coming along, the decentralized exchanges. It's very important at the moment because that's going to change things as well. And yeah, I think we just need to play and see at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing it safe and making sure that we only make decisions that are good for the long-term health of the coin is our main goal here at Metrix, and we'll continue to make that happen as we move forward with the regulatory changes coming into the scene. We had some other updates as well for this week. We have some big, long-awaited changes coming to the Metrix core itself. Some changes. There's a lot of changes. Some are like headfirst syncing will be finally finalized within the next, hopefully the next update. But a bigger change is going to be with our multi-master node tiers. Chris was going to talk a little bit about that and give you a little bit of a teaser. And I'll let him take it there.
Yeah, I guess I'm loving the master nodes and the multi-level master nodes, because running the pool, obviously, I see it firsthand how much work it is to run different master nodes if you're running several, and then to move the rewards and try and get them staking. So this is really what our community's asked for, something that makes it easier to run a higher level if you got more than 2 million coins. So we really see this as going to be a much better way of running it. It's also got the side effect of making less master nodes, so everyone gets paid out more often. So as people roll several into one, that becomes one on the chain, and it'll really improve the rewards for everybody.
Gotcha. So upcoming, there will hopefully be multiple levels of masternode where users can roll a couple masternodes or an indeterminate amount. There are multiple levels, but we aren't willing to release them just yet.
Might be next week.
But roll multiple masternodes into one masternode, which will make it a lot easier for them to manage not only server costs, but even their rewards and just the masternode in general.
Yeah, and the beauty is there's several levels. So there's, a level as you're building your way up with coins, and as you're collecting more, then there'll be a masternode that sort of fits in with what you need at that point.
Wow, that's awesome. So there's quite a few things you just can expect over the next couple of weeks. And as those roll out, you'll get more and more information as the dates come closer to their release. Obviously, if you're super curious, you can check our GitHub for any code changes we may or may not have committed. But until the actual release, we'll be biting our tongues. And that's all for this week. But make sure you check in next week and the week following that, as we're going to continue to do these weekly update videos to let you guys know what we're working on and the path that we're walking forward toward Metrix to success. Thank you very much.
I guess we have heaps coming out, so much coming out. There's going to be updates every week, and we'll keep letting you know what's happening, what's coming.
Absolutely. We'll make sure that we keep our community engaged, regardless of what it takes. And we'll make sure that we get more and more of our core team in these videos as we produce them more and more often. Awesome. Thank you guys for your time, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys. Thanks.